the Shelley Studio. Today I am doing Mission Inspiration, and this is October, so this is part of the Facebook group Mission Inspiration. I will try to remember to put a link down below, and it's where you follow 10 prompts and see what you come up with. And I'm still in the Halloween mood, so this one's a little dark, but I have an excuse. The first prompt was apply black gesso with the baby wipe. So, you know, when you're starting out with black, where do you go, right? So this is Deco Art Media gesso, which I got in a package, and I haven't used it too much, but I really kind of like it. Hard to tell by what I'm doing here. This is a magazine that I've converted from my Mission Inspiration pages, and it's not glued together, so it's just a single page and it's kind of flimsy. So it was really hard to kind of control. I just decided to do kind of a vignette, get it dark around the edges and go lighter in the middle. And my finger that's holding the page down is sticking to the paper because it's all still wet. Alright, so the second prompt was to add book text. This is actually paper. Looks like book text. It came from a Trader Joe's advertisement. They do monthly newsletter with all their products and stuff, so I figured it looks like book text, we'll glue it down. And it's done on newsprint, so I'm not sure how long it will stay good, but anyway. And I just kind of jump through here because you don't need to see me gluing every page down, every piece down, but I do it kind of around in a circle around the edges. Just kind of keeping the center open a little bit. And I was writing the prompts on here from memory, so I hope I got them all right. They might have been worded a little differently. So this next prompt is to take texture paste and add color to it. So I'm adding the metallic silver. I was hoping when it dried it would be sort of metallic, but it's not. It's just gray. And then you have to apply it through 2 different stencils. So I have I'm not sure, it's the Tim Holtz one. That's like a Harlequin pattern. I really like this pattern. Alright, and the other one, I think it's a Dina Wakley. I'm not 100% on that. And it has 3 different shapes, and I'm just doing the circle shapes. And I feel like my page is getting super busy. And it's going to get even busier because the next prompt is to add drips or splatters from at least 3 different colors. So I'm trying to keep them all within the same sort of range. So I'm adding some of that silver paint, and this is just craft paint. I love how metallic it looks, and maybe in the pictures at the end you'll get to see, you know, how shiny and metallic that really is. So I just use all that up and using a fan brush to get some splatters going. I wanted to keep the boo uncovered on that piece of paper. It says boo. That's Halloween. So yes, one of my colors is going to be white. Is that cheating? It was already so busy. I just didn't want to add a lot of more busyness. So I just splatter a bunch of white on there. And then I do add an actual color. This one is, I think it's called Pool Blue. And I'm just letting it mix with the white there, and just gonna kind of keep a diagonal line right through the center. So the next prompt was to add paint with bubble wrap, and I decide I want to play with my brayer, so we're going to brayer out this paint and we're going to brayer it onto my bubble wrap and just kind of stamp it onto the page. I probably made it more work than it needed to be, but I just wanted to play with my brayer. And I didn't, since it's so busy, I didn't want to introduce a whole nother color, so that's why I went with the white. I think it would have been okay if I covered the whole thing with that bubble wrap. It would have toned it all right down. Okay, so the next prompt is to add a focal image, and I did this on my last video. Well, not my watercolor video, but Monday's video. I had collaged something down from the same newsprint, and it kind of got faded, and this image I wanted to stay bright, so I do paint it with some white craft paint on the back, and that's in hopes that that black background doesn't fade the image. So then I cut it out, and we're just going to figure out where to put it. I was really tempted to paint white in the background behind it, but I restrained myself. And I am just using the Liquitex matte medium to glue everything down with. I have Mod Podge, but I like the Liquitex better. It is a little bit more expensive, but the pages don't stick so much with this as they do with the other. So I kind of like that. So the next prompt is to add a quote ransom style. So ransom style is when you cut out a whole bunch of different letters and create words with those letters. So we are going to glue on the words dancing in the dark. I think it works. Pulling out more of that matte medium. And we'll get all that glued down. I think we'll speed up this process a little bit, maybe cut to the end. Like that, boom, we're done, right? So yes, we have a couple more prompts. This prompt is to add triangles of patterned paper. So there is a pattern on this paper. It might be kind of hard to see because it was quite dark. But we're just going, I just cut up some scrapbook paper and we're just going to glue them all down. And these pieces of paper are stiffer. I should have used gel medium, a thicker medium than the just the matte medium, because it was hard to get them to stay down. As you can see, I just keep coating it, trying to get them wet enough that they'll just be pliable and stick to the page. That actually does kind of work. This is what I mean, I just get them all soggy. There we go. Okay, so the next one was add a border of your choice. And since this was so busy, I decided to pull out that black gesso and redarken my edges and try to, I don't know, make it seem a little less busy. And this time I'm just applying it with my finger and then just trying to shade it in, just to reinforce that vignette kind of idea that I had done in the beginning. To unstick my paper. There we go. Alright, so there was another paint splatter prompt, so now I had to add more paint splatters. So I'm just adding some more of that silver paint at the bottom and just making big splatters at the bottom. I wasn't planning on putting it anywhere else. It does end up going up a little ways. So once everything was dry, I didn't feel like my lettering or my girl stood out, so I'm taking the food ball and just outlining everything with the food ball pen, hoping that it'll make it easier to see. I think it does a little bit. Even though they're black, this just is a little bit more black, I think. I'm not being too particularly neat on this, it just really kind of scratching lines on there. I'll be more careful around the girl. But I felt like you couldn't see her at all either, at least when you're looking at the entire image. So I wanted to outline her, since I didn't put white paint underneath her. And this image was also in that Trader Joe's magazine. I'm kind of liking the images I'm getting from there. And you can go online and order their newsletter. I think it's called the Flier or something. I don't know. It reminds me of the Red Wagons, the radio flyer. Anyway, it's their advertisement, but it's all kind of vintagey looking. So my silver paint splatters were still wet, so I just kind of brushed them around. And then I decided I kind of liked the effect on the texture. So I just took my extra silver paint and I'm just rubbing it on all the raised areas. Feeling like it calms it down maybe a little bit to make it all kind of the same. I don't know, you'll have to give me your opinion in the comments. So I have all those white letters and then I have those ones with just a little bit of white outline. So I'm going around that with a white paint pen just to help them stand out some more. There we go, dancing in the dark. I still feel like the girl doesn't show up enough, so I am taking my food ball pen again and going to thicken that line around her. I don't know, this might have been a bit too much, but I really felt like she wasn't showing up. So I really wanted her to show up. So once I go around her, I decide to try and blend out the edges into the background just with my finger by rubbing it. So it kind of softens that edge a little bit. I think it helps. And there we go, mission inspiration complete for October. I hope you liked that. If you did like it, please hit like. Feel free to share, comment, love to hear your comments. And if you haven't already and you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.